Just imagine if there was this poison that existed in today's world that could kill you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But wait, for the symptoms, you wouldn't be aware for a few months, a few years, or who knows, never. All right, Armani, quit messing around. You know something like that doesn't exist. What makes you so sure? Something like that absolutely does exist, and it's plaguing so many individuals that we know, whether it's our family, whether it's our friends, whether it's our colleagues, or who knows, whether it's us. This phrase is none other than the comfort zone. Now, on a micro level, the word comfort is a good thing, and marketing companies have been able to figure it out. Marketing companies talk about how comfortable their vacation resort is, their mattresses, the hotel is, etc. On a micro level, comfort is a good thing. But on a macro level, comfort is an awful thing, meaning that you shouldn't aim to have a comfortable life. Because when your life is too comfortable, what you're doing is you're missing the true understandings of how your mind works. Your mind is what I call a problem-solving machine. You give a problem that you truly desire, that you're willing to work for, to the mind, and eventually, after some time of working on it, your mind is going to just keep creating new solutions to that problem. But just like how your mind is a problem-solving machine, your mind is also a problem-creating machine. Yes, you try to get this comfortable life, what starts happening is that your mind starts creating problems. It turns extremely small situations, which feel so harmless, into big, scary, boogeyman-like monsters. This happens. And most of the people that we know that are suffering from the comfort zone, how do they act? I mean, for the most part, they're losers, they're victims, they're always bitching on Twitter, they're snakes. I mean, they have too much time on their hands. And that may not necessarily describe you. But you want to know something? Winners can also get stuck in the comfort zone as well. You heard that correctly. Winners can get stuck in the comfort zone as well. And this is scary because this group, they're not really working on much, but this group is investing in their self-improvement to a point where if they're getting stuck in the zone and they're not aware of it consciously, this is an issue. Armani, I don't know, winners getting stuck in the comfort zone? That doesn't even seem logical. Let me give you an example. So I have a friend that is a brilliant writer. I mean, he's so great to a point where I'm like, bro, you gotta start a brand and a business around your writing skills. And he's like, Armani, who do you think I am? I already did. I quit my job recently and I'm getting so much money for my writing skills. It's crazy. Now, at this point, you may be thinking that this guy is a winner. I mean, he invested in a skill, he mastered it, and now he's getting paid for it. Great. But wait, there's a little bit more. This individual, he is great at writing, but at this point in his life, he also wants to become great at speaking. He wants to start a YouTube channel and be in front of the camera. The only problem is that he's too nervous. He feels that as a writer, he needs to be behind the camera, not in front of it. And he's getting what I call a literal writer's block. Sad. But the thing with this situation is that he's a winner. I mean, he invested in the skills. But deep inside, he wants to do YouTube as well. And a part of him is holding himself back. He hasn't brought conscious awareness to it yet. He's someone who just like, I don't know, I just don't feel like the time is right. And he's suffering from analysis paralysis. But this is an individual that has gotten stuck in this dreaded zone. And you may be wondering at this point, what makes, whether it's losers or winners, get stuck in this dark, twisted spot? It's what I call the two twos. The two twos. And if you can understand this, what you're doing is you're feeding your mind the right knowledge to solve its own problems. Because what I said in the beginning was that your mind is a problem-solving machine. If you find yourself in the comfort zone, understand that if you could understand these two principles, these two core principles, you're going to overcome the comfort zone. We all can. So let's break down the two twos. The first twos are what I call the two fears. Fear 1 and fear 2. Extremely witty, I know. Fear 1 is what I call the fear where you're scared for survival reasons. So imagine that you're walking home from work and there's a tiger that escaped from the zoo that's walking right by you. You're going to feel terrified. You're going to be like, oh shit, this is scary. I gotta run for my life. And this is what I call good. If you aren't scared and you're just like, whatever, then you may just become tiger food. Fear 1 is when the fear is completely justified. Your life is in danger. Fear 2 is what I call an illusion. And this is when we get scared of something that we think can take our life, but in reality, it's not taking our life. And one of the examples is giving a speech. Imagine if I told you that you have to give a speech today in front of 5,000 people, and half the audience is going to be people that you know, and the whole speech is going to become recorded and broadcasted globally. You're going to start feeling a shit ton of fear. And in this case, if I told you that the fear was not justified, you're not going to believe me because you're getting virtually the same exact heartbeat, the sweaty palms, the heavy stomach as the tiger situation. But in this case, I mean, if the speech is only, let's say, like 5 to 7 minutes long, then you know, like logically, you know that this isn't going to kill you. Yet you're scared. It's an illusion. So there's fear 1 and fear 2. One of the reasons that you're stuck in the comfort zone right now is because you're confusing a fear 2 with a fear 1. Let me say that again. One of the reasons that you're stuck in the comfort zone right now is because you're confusing a fear 2 for a fear 1. Now for the two minds, there's what I call the conscious mind, and then there's the subconscious mind. You know those individuals that are always making these New Year's resolutions? Yeah, this is going to be the year that I climb that one mountain. This is going to be the year where I get off my butt and go to the gym. These people, they're setting their New Year's resolutions with their conscious mind. The conscious mind always has these new thoughts. It's extremely creative and it wants more out of life. That's the first mind. But for the second mind, the subconscious mind, it's what I call the chill mind. It just wants to relax. It wants things to remain the same way that it's always been. It doesn't want you bugging it so much. So quit bugging it. And anytime your conscious mind wants to do something and disrupt the patterns of the subconscious mind, you feel a surge of emotions like a tsunami that's just hitting you. And this is why logically people talk themselves up for these New Year's resolutions, yet they don't stick it through. I mean, we've seen it with our eyes. The gym is super packed for the first few weeks, and then eventually it's empty. I mean, for people that are consistent with the gym, this is good news. But for the people that are setting their New Year's resolution, they feel embarrassment. And one of the reasons that you're getting stuck in the comfort zone is because the subconscious mind's feelings are overpowering the conscious mind's thoughts. Let me say that again. The subconscious mind is beating the conscious mind. Now you understand why you're in the comfort zone. Hopefully you're understanding the two twos. Now what do you do about it? What you do about it is you break it down and try to conquer each one at the same time. With two twos, in terms of fear, this is what I call the theory section. I mean, for me, public speaking was not something that I wanted to do in the initial stages. I was extremely scared. But I had to tell myself, look, Armani, this is a situation where you think that you're going to die, but you're not going to die. And when I was able to discover after choking my first speech that I didn't die, that what I thought was going to be the worst that could happen wasn't necessarily that bad, I felt more empowered later on. So for this element right here, what you just have to do is you just need to keep telling your mind, this is a level 2 fear, not a level 1. And then you want to challenge it even further. You just want to tell your mind, hypothetically, say the worst that could happen does happen. What's the outcome? For me, the biggest fear was choking a speech in front of people that I knew, and that happened. In some ways, that was a blessing in disguise because I was able to find out the worst that could happen wasn't necessarily that bad. You want to ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? And when you start asking yourself that, you stop viewing an illusion as fear one, and you start viewing it as a fear two, just an illusion. Once you've tackled the fears, what I call the theory part, now it's the action part. You gotta put in the reps. And for the reps, what you have to do is you have to understand that when the subconscious mind keeps beating the conscious mind, you start becoming a coward. But when the conscious mind can gradually beat the subconscious mind, that's when you start showing courage. Yes, you, my friend, you're gonna show courage. The thing is, the subconscious mind is like a little kid. You gotta tell it what to do. Otherwise, it's just going to behave the same way it's always behaving. So with your conscious mind, what you just want to do is you want to take gradual actions, just gradual actions, to a point where eventually you'll notice that the fear is overcome. And not only is it overcome, the subconscious mind, once you do overcome that fear, it's no longer working against you, it's working for you. So when I was able to conquer the public speaking fear, with the whole coronavirus thing that started, and I'm not able to give speeches nowadays, the subconscious mind is like, yo, you gotta talk about something, you gotta tell stories somewhere, make a YouTube video, do this, do that. And now it's working for you. So with this element right here, it's what I call the action portion. And if you want to get out of the comfort zone and put in that effort, you want this extremely bad, then you have to gradually keep using the conscious mind to overcome the subconscious mind. Eventually, you're starting to get to a point where you are conquering the two twos with grace. The comfort zone is a scary spot to be in, and it's a spot that we all find ourselves in at one point or another. There's no reason to beat yourself up too much about it. Instead, use this as an opportunity to keep on exercising the theory and the action, to a point where you start becoming tougher, more emotionally intelligent, and you start learning micro skills along the way. The comfort zone is not a good place to be in, and if you want it bad enough, your actions will do the talking. If you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like for me right on below. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.